Hello, everyone, and welcome to Big Sam's Long Balls podcast with me, Dan. Now, I'm recording this instantly after Liverpool dropped more points at home to Brighton. It's just finished Liverpool 3, Brighton 3. Fair play to Brighton. They were absolutely brilliant, especially Trossard in particular, as he gets a hat trick away at Anfield. But I'm not going to talk about Brighton, I'm afraid. Sorry, Brighton fans. I've got to talk about my team, Liverpool, because once again, we've dropped points. We sit mid table and we are pretty crap at this moment in time. I haven't really planned this video. I've literally just watched the game. Like many of you, I'm in shock. I don't really know what to say. I suppose I shouldn't really be in shock because we played like this pretty much from game week one. We were outfought, outplayed in every game really this season, barring the Bournemouth game in the Premier League. The Ajax game was a better performance, but we were battered really by Fulham, on and off the pitch in terms of like physicality, intensity, and tactics as well. Klopp was useless. Same against Palace. Needed a wonder strike from Luis Diaz to get anything from that game. Same away at Old Trafford. Fully deserved to lose that game. Should have lost by more. Should have conceded about 3 or 4 goals in that game. Bournemouth game happens, but it's mad. 9-0 win. I don't really count it this season, to be perfectly honest. We draw against Everton. I thought Everton were probably the better team. We've had 4 weeks without football for a number of reasons. International football, the death of the Queen. It's been such a long time. And like many of you, are so excited for this game today, so excited. And it just took 4 minutes for me to wish that the international break was back on. And I hate international football. So that's how bad this game was for Liverpool today. Brighton went 1-0 up thanks to Trossard. I actually thought the first 3 minutes was fairly decent. Anfield seemed up for it. There was lots of singing. There was lots of chanting. The atmosphere seemed decent, certainly for me. And I'm just sitting there watching it on my phone as I don't get to go to the games, unfortunately. But, it's been heavily criticised that the Anfield atmosphere has been absolutely rank recently. And, judging by what you can hear on TV, you'd have to really agree with that. So the first few minutes seemed decent. The first 3 minutes, the crowd were up for it. They were really cheering. Trent himself seemed decent for the first couple of minutes, winning a couple of tackles, playing some really nice passes. And all eyes were on him today. All eyes were absolutely on him. And he dropped nothing short of the ultimate disaster class. I mean, he was appalling, on the ball, off the ball, defensively, offensively, he was useless. And how he lasted 90 minutes, I'll have no idea. But that first goal happens. A lot of people want to criticize Trent. He doesn't cover himself in too much glory. It's a pretty poor header. But Jordan Henderson, for me, he's in there for defensive protection. He's in there because of his experience. The ball drops to him on the edge of the penalty area, and he tries to just control it on the edge of his foot. Something that most players wouldn't be able to do. Zinedine Zidane-esque is what he attempts. He's on the edge of his own box. Either head it clear or volley it clear or do a Harry Kane special. Get your body in between the ball and the player running in behind you and just win a free kick and clear it. Instead, he attempts to do the perfect one touch. He gets the ball nipped off him. Fabinho allergic to making a tackle at this moment in time. And Fabinho just absolutely sold for a hot dog. Trent rather sold for a hot dog and Trossard with a brilliant goal. Liverpool crap for the next few minutes and then they deservedly went 2-0 down. They could have been 3-0 down by this point. And really, they should have been arguably 3 or 4 down before Firmino gets his goal. Really, thankfully Salah wasn't offside. It certainly looked offside to begin with. Salah for me was what happened to him in that second half. I thought first half Salah, to be fair to him, was pretty good. He was aggressive. He played through the middle a lot. He was running at those Brighton players. Yes, he wasn't perfect and he was making a number of mistakes like most people in wearing red today were. But I thought he was giving everything a go. Firmino gets his goal. I felt bad for Carvalho coming off at half time. I thought of all the problems, attack really wasn't the problem. I thought it was an easy decision for Jurgen Klopp. Yeah, take the kid off, take the teenager. And Luis Diaz was the player to bring on. He was definitely our best player. Certainly, through most of that second half, he made a massive impact and was really our only threat. But Henderson, I thought, was awful first half. Fabinho, again, awful. Thiago, uncharacteristically poor. And he's had so much time off. He doesn't really play international football anymore. Second half was a bit better. We started the game a little bit more intense. We'd gone in at halftime 2-1 down, deservedly so, really. The only positive at halftime was that Firmino was getting into good positions. Salah looked like he was up for it. The crowd looked like they were up for it. And, we started the second half on fire. Diaz comes on. He's causing so many problems. Firmino gets his goal, makes it 2-2, really nicely taken goal. Then we go 3-2 up. Potentially deservedly so. I think, Brighton should have scored more goals by this point, but we deservedly scored our third goal. It was an own goal, but you take it. But decisions tactically from Jurgen Klopp to bring off Tsimikas and bring on James Milner might have just signed this guy's death sentence in terms of as a Liverpool manager, because I think we really have to question, should Jurgen Klopp and Pep Linders really be in charge of this club, because they both of them are, they are manager and head coach together. It really feels like Jurgen Klopp's been sort of building this guy to become the next manager after him. And please, FSG, do not let Pep Linders manage this club once Jurgen Klopp goes or is sacked at this point in time, because actually if he gets sacked later on today or tomorrow, I wouldn't complain. I don't think many people would at this point, because the football is appalling. Tactically, it is appalling from Jurgen Klopp and Pep Linders. And I think this man is living off one good game against Barcelona, where we came back, to win 4-0. It was brilliant. Intensity, run. But that's all we seem to have from this man. Is there any other tactics that Pep Linders has in his head? I really don't think there is, because all we seem to do is just talk about intensity, which is ironic, because we're seeing as we get outrun seriously every single game. It'd be interesting to read the stats. After this game, I haven't actually read them. I can't be asked at this point, but I think the Ajax game was the only game where we outrun an opposition team and we managed to win. But when we can't do that, or when teams outrun us or match us, we've got nothing. And I'm not being funny, but a team like Brighton, who I admire and I like a lot, and I like Graham Potter. I know he's gone, but this is very much a Graham Potter team. I rate him as a coach, but Brighton have less resources than us. They have, less quality on paper and on that pitch. They should do. We should have more quality than a team like Brighton. As good as their coaches may be, we do have more quality. Every single one of their players is more calm, more composed, better on the ball. Our players panicked. They were useless. They were terrible on the ball. Every single one of them today was an absolute joke at times. And tactically, we are inept. Is being kind, because we finally get back into the game. We make it 2-2. Kostas Tsimikas is starting, he didn't have a brilliant first half. Nobody really did for Liverpool, but he's getting into this game. He's playing a little bit better. Him and Diaz, they're having that link up. He's getting on the overlap. He's then running in, through the middle. He's whipping balls into the box. He's creating chances. We take him off to bring on James Milner. James Milner at fullback just doesn't work. But if you're going to bring on Milner to take off any fullback, it should have been Trent, who was an abomination today. So to take off Tsimikas, who was actually playing decent football at this point, to bring on his favourite James Milner, who pretty much lost every single 50-50 when he came on, and just all that momentum just went straight away. Which I know we went 3-2 ahead with James Milner on the pitch, but we just lost it when he came on. Harvey Elliott, for me, did a few decent things, but actually I thought Jordan Henderson, as much as I criticised him for the first goal, as the game wore on, he was becoming, one of our better players. He was probably brought off because, he's only just returned to fitness, just scrolling through Twitter on here, which I don't really want to be doing. Firmino probably our one decent player, but just tactically inept, absolutely inept from Jurgen Klopp and Pep Linders. I keep reading that Pep Linders is taking the coaching pretty much the majority of the week, 4 days of the week, and then Klopp will come on to like to watch the training or oversee training for like the last day before a match. And I think it's showing, the way that we are playing. This is a Pep Linders team. This isn't a Jurgen Klopp team for me. And this is a man that he left Liverpool a few years ago and was sacked straight away when he went to manage over in Holland. They couldn't wait to get rid of him. So why on earth we've got him, I do not know. I think he's absolutely useless. Are we the worst team in the league? I think we might be. Like, genuinely, we are shocking. These absolute decisions are appalling from Jurgen Klopp and Pep Linders right now. Every other opposition manager seems to be able to set up their team tactically more flexible than us. I can't think of any other team in world football where a brand new signing needs about 4 or 5 months to be embedded. I feel for Darwin Núñez today. We bring him on, in the 89th minute? I was on the floor. I was actually on the floor laughing when that happened. I thought the reason why he hadn't brought him on sooner was because you can only make, although you can make 5 substitutions, you can only make him at 3 points. So we brought on, obviously, Diaz, we brought on Elliott and Milner, and we brought on Diogo Jota. So I thought, okay, obviously those are the rules. You can't bring on Darwin Núñez. And then we bring him on, with 1 minute, or with 4 minutes, I suppose, with added time to go. It was just laughable, absolutely laughable from Jurgen Klopp and Pep Linders once again. Just so much better from the opposition manager, and I can't even remember his name. But they set up with 3 at the back, and you know, that's these two. I don't have the energy to care anymore. We're shit, and this season was done after Fulham. You know what? He's not wrong. He's not. It just feels like we're watching the same game on repeat. Just terrible, terrible football from this team. But tactically, it really does worry me. Liverpool at this moment in time. You know, today they set up with three at the back, two wing backs. They had three midfielders, three central midfielders, and two strikers. And what that did is, you know, in midfield, we were being completely outrun because they had the three in the midfield. They had sort of kind of how we set up the number 6 and the 2 8s who a little bit more creative or box to box. And they also had the two wing backs. So you look at someone like Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea, he would have three at the back and then he would have his two wing backs and two sitting midfielders. So he'd have four in midfield. But what Brighton did today, which was brilliant, they had five in midfield. So when we had our three, you know, of Thiago, Fabinho and Jordan Henderson, we were completely outrun. And then when they would attack, they had their two strikers and their two wing backs bombing forward and their two number 8s. So we were dealing with about, it was 5 or 6 attackers at times, and you could just see it. You were like, Jesus Christ! They always had an extra man on the pitch. This refusal to step away from a 4-3-3, whether it's to go to a 4-2-3-1 or whatever, it's killing me, and I think it's just killing this fan base at this moment in time. He's so stubborn, Klopp or Lynch. It really is like, you know, my way or the highway. And at this moment in time, you know, I think it's fair to say that maybe a change is needed. I don't want to do that. I've never thought to myself, Klopp needs to go. But right now, he looks absolutely clueless. He has got nothing to offer this team tactically. We are appalling. You know, you look at Van Dijk over the past week or two for Holland. There's been a couple of theories that people have said that maybe Van Dijk is crap this season because he's saving himself for the World Cup. You know, he's prioritizing the World Cup. And I didn't want to think like that because I'm like, no, a professional footballer would not act this way. But you watch him for Holland, he's aggressive, he's intense, he's flying into tackles. You know, he's doing everything to keep a clean sheet. And he did, you know, against Robert Lewandowski's Poland, against Belgium, who are one of the best international teams out there. He can't go from being brilliant there to absolutely appalling in a Liverpool shirt. Today he was just jogging, he was walking around the pitch. That third goal, it's just a half-assed attempt, goes straight through him. It's rubbish. But equally, you know, he plays in a back three for Holland. You know, he's got two other centre backs around him. He's not playing on the left, he's not playing on the right. He just plays through the middle, and he's got two wing backs, and he's got that protection, and he's just got that, you know, as good as he is, or as good as he was at this point, he's got a complete absent midfield. Fabinho looks done to me, absolutely done. I couldn't even remember anything he did today. He's Trent's, you know, playing as a winger or as a striker half the time, and our defenders are just getting pulled apart. And today Brighton absolutely destroyed us. So things need to change. I don't know what it is. Is it as drastic as Jurgen Klopp out? We need a new manager. I think we need to look at the coaching setup. You look at Alex Ferguson; he changes coaches regularly. Pep Lynch, I don't know what he offers this team. I really, really don't. But tactical, you know, tactics-wise, we need to change massively. This 4-3-3 is not working. Defensively, we are appalling. Brighton today, I thought, were brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Could we not have just gone man for man, go fuck it, you know, back three midfielders, two wing backs, and just gone Salah and Jota up top, or Salah and Nunez? I don't know, but things are only going to get from bad to worse. If you think this is bad, this next week or two is going to be awful. We've got Rangers coming up in the Champions League, which you know, even in this form, I do expect us to be able to beat Rangers. But, you know, but then again, who knows? But then we go away to Arsenal, and then we've got Manchester City. And in my opinion, I think we will concede 10 goals in those two games. I really, really do. We're awful. If we play like we did today away at Arsenal, they will probably be 3 or 4 up before we have a shot on goal. We are awful. Absolutely awful. We are an abomination. And can you imagine the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus in particular, Martin Odegaard, Granit Xhaka running at us for 90 minutes? Jesus Christ, it is the thing of nightmares. And I just really want this season. I just want the season to be over with already. I love what is going on. So this was awful, absolutely awful. We drew today. It feels like another defeat. The slim chance that we had of challenging for the title. I never thought we could challenge for the title, really. But I know some people did. That's gone. I personally don't even see us challenging for top 4 at this moment in time. If things carry on, it is Thursday night football next season at best. It is shocking. And a part of me feels that maybe a managerial change, it might be needed, because I just feel that Jurgen Klopp, he is stubborn. He's got too much faith in certain players. Look, he said it, you know, FSG are willing to back him. and he didn't want to go and sign a midfielder. He didn't want to go and sign additional players. He felt that this team were good enough. He's not giving chances to the likes of Darwin Núñez. He's not giving a full chance to someone like Kostas Tsimikas. You know, Robertson's out injured. Let him have a couple of games. Why are we bringing on a player who's not a fullback to replace him? It is honestly ludicrous. Pep Lingers for me is the biggest fraud in world football. I cannot stand this man. He's just spending all his spare time going, does anyone want to buy my book? Anyone want to buy my book? Get on the training field and start coaching these players, because I've never seen a group of players this good be allergic to a football before in my life. It is shocking, absolutely shocking. If results do not pick up against some very, very tricky fixtures here, I can see FSG stepping in and going, you're out the door. I hope it doesn't happen, but honestly, at this point in time, it might be needed. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. This was a bit of a, just a rushed video. Didn't really think it through. I just saw the game and I was absolutely livid. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Yeah, what did you think of the game? Any positives? I thought the crowd were decent, and Firmino, other than that, and Diaz, to be fair, other than that, awful. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Any positives, probably more than negatives as well. Where do we go from here? Any tactical switch up, what would you like to see? And do you think Jurgen Klopp and Pep Lingers, do you think those two are the men to take us forward? Because I'm seriously having doubts at this point. So let me know, do you fully back them 100%, or actually do you feel that a new manager, a new coach is needed? And if so, who would you want to bring in? Hopefully Jurgen Klopp can turn this around, but this isn't the first time something like this has happened. We won the Premier League and then it all went to crap. And I know injury crisis happened, but we were arrogant in the transfer market and we were arrogant tactically, or I say he refused to play defenders and he was playing midfielders in defence. And look what happened. We played Phillips and Williams, who aren't particularly good, but you know what? We played actual defenders in defence. We played midfielders in midfield, and we went on a brilliant run and we got Champions League qualification. He is incredibly arrogant as a manager, and Pep Lingers seems to be as a coach. They really do believe that their way is the best way, and there is no flexibility with us tactically. You know how we're going to start games. You know how we're going to play for 90 minutes. It's crap. So I think there is a case to be made that a change might well be needed. But anyway, that's just my opinion. So let me know your thoughts on the opinion. Your thoughts on today's games. Pretty awful. But yeah, give this video a like. It would cheer me up. Subscribe for more football videos, and I'll see you very soon. So thank you so much for watching.